Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a match between HeroMarine and Neeb here in Eternal Empire, the latter edition, for your Patreon cast for the week. Top right hand corner, it is the red Terran player HeroMarine, and the bottom left, we have the blue Protoss player Neeb. So Germany versus the United States of America here today from Home Story Cup. Officially the Stay-at-Home Story Cup that wrapped up just a couple of weeks ago now. Figured I'd cast a game between these two players. They are fan favorites. They are favorites of mine. And let's see what strategy they will use against each other. Okay, so I've seen Terran players try to go mech against Protoss recently in GSL, which is the highest level StarCraft that you can get these days. And let's just say it didn't work out very well because Immortals kind of shut down everything that a meching player has to offer. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's new information, or not new information to you, but pretty sure HeroMarine here is going to go bio with lots of drops, liberators, and maybe some battle cruisers, but I think those have fallen out of favor in the TVP meta. At least the games that I have seen and cast. So this probe comes up, Rawr. Mr. SCV pulling an SCV off the line here to deal with it. Whoa! Okay, that's a gateway. Okay, gateway expand. Man, for a second there, part of me thought that was a Nexus first, but no, definitely wasn't. Cybercore coming up here too. Not walling off Protoss players. This is really important. Don't wall off. Versus Terran, they will show up with their Marines and their Marauders and knock down your wall from down here, and then you'll be sad. You'll be a sad panda. Expansion coming up from HeroMarine a little bit late. And yeah, Neeb here, about 50% done with his expansion. Looking really fantastic, honestly. So yeah, I gotta say Neeb, better player here overall. He does have a higher ceiling. That said, HeroMarine has 7,000 MMR on the EU GM ladder right now, and he's kind of playing insanely well here in 2020. So I really feel like he definitely win this game. You don't get 7,000 MMR if your TVP isn't excellent, you know what I mean? So Reaper name is Nathan Gray. After closing the season, Nathan Gray, singer of the post-hardcore band Boy Sets Fire, attended in the TV casting show August Gradian Idol. Once entering the stage, he revealed the real purpose of him taking part in the show. He grabbed the mic and screamed all of the scene, including the jury and impersonator Menks to Kingdom Come. The era, by that time, when the whole studio was blown into shattered ruins and a big sonic bomb explosion, was then declared at the time before the eulogy. After the eulogy, Nathan Gray decided to do a solo project within the Reaper program to direct this annihilating force against the enemy troops, which turned out to be far less exhausting than all of his previous lifestyle. Don't confuse the entities in his hands with a pair of guns, as it is actually a pair of mics, doubling the efficiency of his performance in Reaper Suite. I think Reaper Suit. There might be some typos in that Reaper name, and it was really long. But either way, Reaper gets no kills, gets a nice scout off. Doesn't see anything to be worried about whatsoever here. There is an Oracle. I have an Oracle name. I don't have one ready to go. We're going to hold off on that. We're going to definitely stick Nathan Gray here. See what he can get up to later on. He's going to check for proxies. He's healing up over this way. Marine, yeah, this is Marine production. Starport. And Tech Lab. So, usually in this situation, what you're going to see is going to be Widowmine drops, but I don't think that's what HeroMarine is going for. Yeah, that's a Cyclone. Early Cyclone with a Viking coming in here too. This kind of feels like a Marine Cyclone Viking style of an attack, which can be pretty good against Protoss. Vikings landed do bonus damage versus mechanical, which is what Stalkers are. The Cyclone does really well against Adepts because it outranges it like crazy. Does not do any bonus damage versus it, but Adepts are so squishy, I don't think it really matters. Oh, this is interesting. And that's a third CC. So HeroMarine going for that third base timing like it's a TVZ. Like he doesn't have to worry about much, and I'm not sure that he does. Oracle cruising on into the main base of HeroMarine. And oh, the Viking is anti-Oracle too. Totally forgot about that Oracle in relation to the Viking. Oh, the Widowmine finishes it off. First blood to HeroMarine. Oh, the Reaper died. Did you come back in on die, Reaper? You sure did. You poor thing. You poor, sad thing. All right, well, another Oracle's coming in because you need one versus Terran to keep tabs on where their giant army is at all times. That's another barracks. A Raven and a tank, though. They're going to be largely bio, but we're still going to have some interesting elements of mechanical unitry in here with the Cyclone, with the tank, with the Raven. Again, Cyclone tank pretty much shuts down any further attempts at Oracle harass. But it's a mass adept play here from Neeb with the third base coming up behind it. Interessante. What do we got going on here? The Oracles are going to try to get into the natural base, while Neeb's going to attack at the front with the Adepts, which the Marine sees coming. It's got a tank. That's a finished transfer. Tank fire on those Adepts, getting a lot of splash damage off. The Adepts, I'm not sure, are doing super well with this. Taking more tank fire. The Oracles do pick off a couple SCVs, building those engineering bays for further upgrades. They chase the Adepts away instantly, but that does draw everybody away into the main base, where 5 SCVs go down. That Oracle gets away with its life somehow. Not convinced this one will. Oh my gosh, 4 HP. Okay, does manage to escape. 6 SCVs down. The Adepts shade back in to the natural base. The tank has 1 kill, but has really bruised up these Adepts, and it's going to allow a lot of them to die here from the Marine fire. So all of the Adepts die. It is still 12 SCVs dead. So good harassment, but Neeb loses a ton of his army. At this stage, he has unadept 2 Oracles and 3 Sentries. Like, if HeroMarine just went for it right now, I kind of feel like he could get a lot of damage done, but he's also on the back foot. He took so much damage economically from that attack. He is down in worker count quite heavily. The income tab, do we not have an income tab? We do. Is really favoring Neeb right now because, again, all those SCVs died, and the third base is done for Neeb, whereas the third base, there you go, is not even landed for HeroMarine yet, but it is on the way. He's not too far behind. So Phoenix production coming in, going for charge. Still really doesn't have much of an army. A couple Zealots in the mix, I guess, which is not going to be too bad. HeroMarine doesn't seem like he's going to be interested in moving out. Look like he's just setting up and defending for a longer macro-style game, which is cool. That's what we like to cast here on the channel. Stim coming in from HeroMarine, working on, additional barracks. This is really not much of a surprise here from HeroMarine at all. Storm being researched and just about done. God, did Widowmine just kill both of those Oracles? Dude, Oracle deaths today, 3 of them. That is a lot of the lost resources for Neeb. He's taking a base down to the south, too. Are you kidding me? He's taking a 4th down here. What an absolute boss. All right, well, he's just going to out-macro HeroMarine at this stage. HeroMarine, I don't think he has any plans for a 4th base whatsoever. He's just getting his 3rd base saturated. Again, he's trying to catch up on worker count again. He's doing okay. He's only down about 12 at this stage, and he is actually not making any SCVs at the moment, which maybe is a mistake, as Neeb is making 3 at a time right now. I really don't see a giant Terran force here either. Yeah, I'm really not looking at it. The High Templar, look how long it takes them to kill a Marine. The Zealots are like, gosh dang it. Let us take care of this guy. Warp Prism for Warp Prism shenanigans coming up the left side right now. Neeb looking pretty darn sneaky. Big old drop from HeroMarine. It's not enough to win the game probably, but it's going to take a lot of units with it before it goes down here. But yeah, Neeb's 4th base is warping in. He has 77 workers to 59 for the Terran player. The income is about the same right now because mules are good. But the mules are exploding. They'll come back. They'll come back some other time. But I think overall, Neeb's economy is just definitely looking beautiful at this stage. Let me just, Zealots. Yeah, it's going to be charge lots. It's going to be charge lots with +1 attack. No armor yet, but that 3rd base for HeroMarine is in a lot of trouble. However, Marine tank, Raven. Nice feedback on that Raven, though. Nicely done. High Templar, no! That doesn't happen. Zealots getting into the 3rd base where the drop in the natural base, killing a ton of probes at the same time. What an absolutely great double engagement we have going on right now. The natural base is still a major problem for Neeb. The War Prism coming into the main base might be able to get some stuff done. There's a defensive Liberator there, though. The Storm on the Marines does finally dislodge them from the natural base. There are still 7 Marines ready to go, though. Yeah, you're not really warping in here all that well, are you? But I guess unloading at the 3rd base, there's still nothing defending these SCVs at the 3rd base. Inside the main base, they're getting cleaned up by Stalkers for the most part. Attack on the right side. HeroMarine, big Marine ball. The Archons not going to stand against that many Marines without question. Thank you for the comment. Trying to get some charge lots into buffer, but suddenly HeroMarine has a giant army advantage, 92 to 46. Zealots can't do anything here without any follow-up for something like Storm or a ton of Stalkers. 18 SCVs have gone down, but HeroMarine has the army advantage. He has taken down this 4th base like it is made out of tissue paper. Neeb is trying to get reinforcements in here as fast as possible. He's got some High Templar, but they don't have enough energy for the Storm yet. You remember that upgrade they used to have, where once they warped in, if they had the upgrade, they would have enough energy for Storm automatically. Gosh, that Immortal died instantly. There's only a handful of Stalkers here, and good game. HeroMarine takes game 1 of our sneaky twofer here on Eternal Empire. Dude, he ended that game with 44 workers. Basically did not have a third base. His main base was mined out. His natural was looking pretty gross too. He ends up winning that thing just through sheer cost effectiveness. It is 10,000 resources lost for Neeb and only 5,000 for HeroMarine, right? He ended up the game with 55 Marines, 4 tanks, 3 Liberators, and there's just nothing left for Neeb. Ends up losing 33 Zealots, 19 SCVs died, but 40 SCVs died, but 19 probes died. And if Neeb could have held here, if Neeb could have held at the situation, maybe he loses the 4th, but he holds on to the 3rd base, he could have gotten himself back into this game, but there's just too much army at the front door, too many Marines, not enough splash damage, right? You can have all the Stalkers and Zealots in the world, but man, if there are just that many Marines with stim, with tank support, especially if you don't have any Storm or Disruptors or something, you're going to have a bad time. So HeroMarine gutting it out there, getting the win in game number 1. Let's move on into game number 2. We're on Everdream for game 2 of our sneaky twofer for the Patreon cast this week. Top right hand corner, it is going to be the red Terran player HeroMarine, and bottom left it is Neeb. You can guess what color he is if you're listening based on the fact that this is a tournament game. All right, HeroMarine, you showed why you are the top forwarder Terran in the entire world right now. Man, that was incredible play from HeroMarine. He lost so many SCVs, but he won the game. You can do that if your army at the end of the game is a lot bigger than the other guys. Woo! Probe scouting here on Everdream. It's a pretty darn basic map. We got some destructible rocks here, but just to open up the path just a little bit wider, not to open up a path entirely. And no watchtowers, so you have to be a little bit more careful about pushes coming across the map to kill you. Third base, pretty darn easily defended. And yeah, against Zerg, pretty darn easy to wall off here as well, I think. 1, 2, 3. So you wall this off, and you're just going to wall this off a little bit, and you have 3 easy bases against Zerg, but takes a little bit of little few buildings here to do so. Let's just say that much. All right, so we have another Reaper coming in. Do we have a Reaper name? Did we not play this with the game heart? I just realized I don't think we played this with the game heart, which is annoying stuff. Did I turn this back on? Yeah, I did. All right, we're back. We're back. We're good. We are good. Expansion coming up here from HeroMarine. The Reaper name is Jane the Union Rep. The Terran Dominion is known for many things: planetary devastation, military conquest, etc. What they are not known for is worker safety, but that's not likely to change. When Jane the SCV Union Rep asked Manx for improved conditions and compulsory life insurance, he laughed and threw her in a Reaper suit. Ironically, Jane now threatens workers instead of protecting them. At the very least, this will be great material for her article on worker safety if Manx allows her to publish it. That is very optimistic of you, Jane. I was going to say that much. So, coming on in. Reaper life is a dangerous life. You're carrying 2 guns, but it still feels like you're at, you're at a disadvantage in every encounter you come into for the most part, unless it's against defenseless workers. Anything untoward happening in either base? Not really. Robotics facility from Neeb pretty quickly, but I think that's what he did in the last game as well. Oh, yeah. What the heck? Why did we not see a Marine? Sometimes the WCS interface doesn't work as well as you want it to, that little add-on. Again, you have to put that into the game before you start it, which is why for ladder matches it doesn't work, because you can't do add-ons in ladder matches. But in professional games, yeah, we get them because you can do that in that situation. These are effectively custom games that are red versus blue. But you're put into a lobby with observers and whatnot, and then this is the result. So Cybernetics Core coming in here from Neeb. It's already done. He is working on the upgrade. Why is that only showing up if I select it? Oh, is that the difference? That's the difference. Okay, okay. Right. Is that a hallucinated? That's a hallucinated Oracle coming in. Putting some fear of Protoss into HeroMarine. And also scouting, which is pretty cool. That could be a Viking, right? But that is also could be a medevac. So that's kind of a hard read for Neeb, but that is definitely a third base coming in once the scouting is over. So third base on the way for the Terran player, trying to establish that again. Robotics Bay coming in from Neeb. He's like, all right, in game one, I didn't have any splash damage. Let's get some Colossus. Maybe let's get some Disruptors. Let's do some more damage here than we were able to do in direct engagements in game number one of the Sneaky Twofer. How does that sound? Great. So medevac here. Cyclone heading over this way, which... Oh, how did he see the Observer? What a play. Snipes the Observer. Cyclone comes in. Oh, maybe you think it's just a Cyclone. This is dangerous from Neeb. He's not taking a third base yet. Why are you pulling back? What are you worried about? I don't know what he's pulling back for. He saw that third base, or saw, maybe he could have seen the probe. He could have shut that thing down, but instead he just straight up pulls back. I don't know. Maybe he scanned something that I missed on the minimap, but very interesting play there from HeroMarine. Just kind of feigned out there and then came back home. Additional barracks coming in. Really not much different from what we saw in game number one from him. Neeb, on the other hand, is going for extended thermal lance. He's going for those Colossus. And that is going to be hard for this little Marine group to deal with for sure. Even if the Colossus don't have extended thermal lance, if there is one out, it's going to do pretty well against these Marines in most situations. Reaper Jane here is going, well, is really inviting a death sentence there, attacking that Nexus all by her lonesome. Colossus moving out. Well, rallying out anyway. Army trying to make sure the Terran isn't hanging around. And HeroMarine has just kind of had these Marines here for some time. I don't know what he's planning on doing with them, to be honest. Maybe the Observer has seen enough at this stage. He's just like, all right, it's going to be barracks. It's pretty much going to be the same thing we saw in the last game. That said, we don't have a Raven, which I feel like the Raven was pretty good. Ooh, Marauders coming in. Yeah, Marauder really good against Colossus. They don't take that bonus damage versus Colossus, and they hit pretty hard with that bonus damage versus Colossus. So that has been, I mean, since the beginning of time in StarCraft 2 and Wings of Liberty, Colossus were out, and Terrans were like, what do we do? And the answer was just a ton of Marauders, man. You just went in there, volleyed down the Colossus. Wha-bam, wha-bam. They died, and the rest of the Protoss army was easier to deal with, for sure, for your Marines that were in the back. It's usually how that works. Observer sees this little Marine action in the middle of the map. Third base happily running from HeroMarine. Third base happily running for Neeb, defending it with his Colossus. Extended Thermal Lance is done. There you go. Right there. Charge just about done here, too. This looks like a pretty interesting attack from Neeb. I like it. Army supply, 54 to 55. It's pretty even. Oh, there's two Colossus. This might be a tough hold for HeroMarine. He does have a couple tanks. He does have a bunch of Marauders, which is going to be really nice. But the attack on the third base, while he's kind of getting postured at the front here, is going to be annoying to deal with for sure. Tank firing in, full evacuation of the SCVs from the third base location, trying to come up the ramp on the other side. That Colossus is not taking any direct fire and doing pretty good against these Marines on the ground. Nice force fields, keeping the Zealots, actually bad force fields, keeping the Zealots away from this bio. Those were not the greatest force fields I've ever seen, but 18 SCVs have gone down. This Colossus continuing to fire on in, has 10 kills. This one has 3 kills. See the Marauders, though, getting direct hits. Nice micro. Beautiful Warp Prism micro here finally goes down, as that Warp Prism needs to unload the Colossus. Gets another couple kills. 12 kills, and the Liberator is going to try to finish it off. Does finish it off. The Marines and Marauders actually do it there. So it was held by HeroMarine. But Neeb ends up killing how many SCVs, you ask? It is 16 SCVs. It is 68 to 55 workers right now. That third base not looking super healthy. But again, this is what we saw in the last game. Army supply 54-32 in favor of HeroMarine. He's in a decent position to go for a counterattack here. Neeb's not really going to have a lot to be able to defend against it. It was a very... I don't want to say it was an all-in on the attack, but it was very strong and it was very potent. It was intended to be so. Neeb's taking a 4th base here on the low ground at the rich Vespine Geyser location, which is something Zerg players like to do, but not as much on this map. It's a little bit harder to hold on this map compared to other ones. Like Eternal Empire, I believe, is the other one. But Concussive Shells on the way from HeroMarine, working on Marauders, working on those Liberators. And Neeb, I don't think he's replacing his Colossus. He's got the one. But Production tab says we're working on Warp Prism. We're getting additional upgrades for our ground units. And this is a pretty scary counterattack from HeroMarine. He's got a lot of Marauders. And a tank and Liberators here. Good engagement. Nicely done by Neeb getting on top of this bio. Nice choke set up. The Zealots, I kind of feel like, need to take down the tank. It is getting focus firing on the Colossus. Too much bio in the mix, I think. Colossus getting extra shots off, though, and he does manage to hold it. HeroMarine is forced to pull back. And Neeb sits back with his Archons, pretty pleased with himself after that engagement. 6 kills and 5 kills on those Archons. Colossus has 5. And the 4th base is coming in on schedule for Neeblet. For our Neeblet. Oh, Ghost Academy. Loving that from HeroMarine. More Terrans need to go Ghosts, in my professional opinion. It's just really nice, especially with Enhanced Shockwave. Really, really, really strong stuff. Marine thinking about what to do, and does get somehow sneaks all the way down to the 4th base and kills a pro before getting hacked to death unceremoniously by Zealots. So we got Archons now. And might actually force a lift on that orbital. That is a lift on that orbital. Never mind, the orbital just dies. Nicely done. Also a Zealot warping inside the main base. Oh, they can't. Can they get the Ghost Academy? I don't know, but that you're not getting home. The Warp Prism is dead. 3rd base is down. HeroMarine is bleeding everywhere right now. He's losing SCVs. He lost an entire orbital here. He's trying to rebuild the command center on site at the 3rd base location, but this might be another situation where HeroMarine doesn't have a 3rd base, and he just needs to go for it. Oh, walking into that choke might be a terrible idea with the Colossus. Yeah. Liberators, though, can force the Protoss army back with their area of effect denials there. Yeah, HeroMarine is up 89-73 armor supply. Neeb is in a much better position army-wise. He's got a bunch of Archons. Enhanced Shockwave is not done yet, so Ghosts are going to be odds effective as they would be. And yep, EMP is getting tossed down. Colossus on the left side goes down all the way, but nice concave here from Neeb. Getting on top of the tanks, wrecking them quite nicely. Oh, the tanks are all gone, and that's a good game. Neeb ends up getting the tie here in our sneaky 2 for today. Comes back, gets revenge on the Terran player. Nicely done. Some good back and forth there for an 11-minute game. I got to say, that was really nicely played by both players. Income favoring Neeb quite heavily, especially with the death of that 3rd base. We're not really surprised by that. And resources lost here fairly even more for HeroMarine in that game than Neeb, as we would expect in a game where the Protoss player ends up winning. So all 4 Colossus died, which is a problem, but ended up killing 55 Marines, 23 Marauders, and 6 tanks, as well as 27 SCVs. Didn't lose any probes, but that one that the Marine poked off there just a couple minutes ago. But fantastic display. Just a really, really nice game. Really, really nice game there. All right. So that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.